What's up? We're back with another episode of Comic Book Movie News, and let's get right into it. First off, we're starting with the Falcon and Winter Soldier new trailer. Nick, what were your thoughts?
One, I wasn't expecting a whole 2 minute trailer to appear, and and also a 20 minute, 20 minute, 2 minute trailer of like what is essentially all new footage. Like, literally, I don't think there was only like one or two shots that we saw in the first one. All of this was brand new, which I was not expecting, and I very much enjoyed. I actually think I kind of like this trailer better than the first, which is saying a lot because I did enjoy the first one. But I don't know, I think maybe it's just like seeing just more of like the action and seeing how like I get like for lack of a better way to describe like just how the characters are moving. Like I love the last shot of where like he's like flying close to the ground and he like cuts through the two trucks. I thought that was so I remember I saw that and I was like, that is clean as hell. That's so good. Um what else? Or like that he was like this is all Falcon, but like when he's like flipping around and like he gets the wings in front of him and he's like shielding. I don't know, like I was like, I know for sure this action is gonna look really great. And so um I love that. I also loved for sure the Zemo when he was like, "Did you really think like my work like I was gonna stop doing like my work or whatever?" Like I thought that was really cool. I haven't really been shown like how much he plays. Like is he a supporting villain? Is he main villain? Like where he's at. But I'm excited to see Daniel Bruhl back in that role. So yeah,
Yeah,
overall I
I
very
am.
enjoyed
I am too. There's something about him. There's something about that mask that almost feels like he's trying to emulate Thanos.
it.
Of course, who would be a bigger supporter of Thanos than him? Someone who wanted to get rid of all superheroes, and Thanos did a
I
pretty good
would not
job.
I would not be surprised if that was how they like explained it, which I think would be really just like that's not how it is in the comics, but brilliant use of like what you how you've written your universe.
Right, and it makes sense in the world. I was
Mhm.
a little bit the Sharon Carter action. I was like, that is awesome. Like, I was like, that is so cool.
Mhm.
Um, I really liked this trailer. I wouldn't say I liked it as much as the first, but that moment was so epic when he's like, "You got beat up by a little girl,"
Yeah,
and he's like, "Ah!" and it just goes under both of them. I'm like, "Whoa!" Like that's so
yeah,
sick.
it is. It was
Um,
very cool.
and they're just highlighting that dynamic between Bucky and Sam,
Mhm.
like this kind of old married couple dynamic.
A
I
lot
really
of
love
like
it.
yeah, a lot of like buddy cop, lethal weapon like vibes, like just the two like we're stuck together and so like but we both also do not want to be stuck together type situation.
Right. And we haven't gotten a full idea as to what the story is, but we're starting to get more of an idea, and I
Yeah.
like that.
I'm really intrigued that like I said, like this is all new footage, but somehow between both trailers we haven't seen Wyatt Russell as US agent, which makes me really intrigued as to what like it's been the same shot of him like running onto the football
Right.
field or
The high
whatever.
five.
Yeah. I'm just really like I don't know, like it's kind of similar to like Taskmaster in the Black Widow trailers. Like we've only seen him so briefly. I'm really intrigued now as to what is like what's US agents like greater meaning or whatever. Because like I have an idea of like why he's there, but like they haven't shown him at all, which makes me really curious about him.
Right. Yeah, he'll definitely play a role. It'll be really interesting. And this
Yeah.
trailer didn't reveal too much more other than Zemo seems to be more prevalent than maybe we previously thought.
Right.
And I'm curious if he plays into this group that the girl who plays Memphis Nest in Star Wars
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
part of.
Right. I got you.
But otherwise, and Sharon Carter broke the Sokovia Accords, so that's interesting that the Sokovia Accords are still a thing. How
Mhm.
that plays into the rest of the MCU, I'm going to be really interested in.
Yeah. I am as well. There's this one more than any of the other upcoming shows can play around with like the logistical like politics of like the MCU so and see how that all like reflects so it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Moving on to our next topic, the Sandman cast is revealed. Nick, what are your thoughts on this cast?
This is like the like one like this one comic book show that's like flying under the radar excuse me, which is like again like pretty interesting because like the source material is like really like well revered. um Sorry, I'm like just making sure I have the cast pulled up. It's an interesting cast. I feel like some people are going to mistake in the voice. They had like an audiobook going like and that was the cast, like that was the assumed cast at one point, but they have like who's here, Tony nominee Tom Sturridge as like the main character. They have Gwendolyn Christie, Captain Phasma herself, as like his main like ally, and then a lot of just like so like a lot of people that like just checking through Letterboxd I realized I have seen, but like just didn't realize like Asim Chaudhry, I hope I pronounced that right, from Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, Boyd Holbrook from Logan, and Charles Dance from Mank is also in the show. I don't know. I think it's right now it's just the cast, but I feel like it's such also like what a unpredictable group of people, and as always, that's always going to be exciting to see like so many different personas like thrown together.
I agree. I don't know too much about this.
Hmm.
I thought I thought this was like Sandman from Spider-Man,
Right.
and I was like, oh, it's not. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, then what? Then what? But the cast has me pretty excited.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of those casts that's like just low key enough that it doesn't really get talked about. But if you were to look into it and read what everyone does, it's like, oh, if that's that person from this, I really like them in that.
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
think those casts oftentimes turn into the best ones.
Right. Because you're not like focused on like the person, you're focused on like just like I don't know performance level and whatnot. Yeah.
Right, in the material, which is
Mhm.
the most important thing.
Of course. And I'm excited. They're filming. They've been filming for a while now, and that's going to be on Netflix, hopefully later this year. So that'll be interesting. That'll be great to see.
Yeah. Now, moving on to our next topic, Suicide Squad is officially done. I know they had last week or the week before a few like minor tweaks that they were doing on it, but I
Mhm.
guess I don't know if it's when a filmmaker says something's done, you never know if it really is.
Yeah.
They always go back in and they're making these little tweaks and adjustments to everything, but hey, he said it's done. And he said an interesting thing about the writing process of how like during different movies he cries doing different parts, and he says
So,
this is one of them. Um, but yeah, I'm ready for it.
yeah, I was like really like one I'm excited because that means they can I guess they're free to start marketing. I guess if that means they're fully like editing like visual effects, there's nothing no one can complain about or like say like oh it's unfinished because like it is done as confirmed by the director. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be a fun time. I'm hoping to get like a proper first look soon. There was the one comment he also made like he was like this is 100% like my movie, and I love how like they seem to keep emphasizing that with this movie above all things after like what happened with like Snyder and Ayer. So I mean at least we know. I mean it's gonna be James Gunn's unhinged vision. There's nothing greater than that. So good to
Right.
hear. I would like to think marketing would start like next month or something. We're in February now. Movie comes out in August.
Maybe later with the pandemic, but
That's true.
yeah, I think it's going to be a heavy but late push for the marketing with these movies that are mostly going to streaming.
Right.
Um, yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And I'm excited for it. I'm there the first day, whether theaters are a thing that we can go into at that time or whether I have to see it
Yeah,
on streaming. I'll make it work.
for sure.
Um, moving on to our next topic, Blade finds its screenwriters. Now, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she is one of the writers from the Watchmen series. Who, if any of you watched Watchmen, you know that series is amazing. It is one of the best series I've ever seen.
100%. Yeah.
And Damon Lindelof was the showrunner, but there are writers, and the writers really do contribute a lot. Believe it or not,
Yep.
it's not a show is never created by one person.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess she was a significant uh, contributor to it, and so they're doing a Blade movie.
Yeah. Her name. I'm just like looked it up now. Stacy Osei-Kuffour. Hopefully I pronounced that Kuffour. I hopefully I pronounced that right. But I mean, you bring if it as when you attach like Watchmen, insert whatever position to a product. I think same here. I loved Watchmen. I think it's like one of my favorite shows. It like and so to just attaching any person from that show to anything is really exciting. I think if I think it's pretty interesting that they specifically like I guess brought like a Watchmen writer because that show had a lot of like both dealt with like black protagonists, and I think I don't know, maybe they're trying to chase a similar energy from Watchmen over into Blade, but maybe that's just me, I don't know, stretching a bit, but impressed with the writing of Watchmen, so I guess that means Blade's going to be a really crazy time. Have they confirmed yet if it's a movie or show or whatever?
Pretty sure it's a. Oh God, that's a great question. I always forget with Blade. I think it's a movie. I think
Okay,
it's a movie.
gotcha.
But don't count on me for that. But they said to write the script and not be a showrunner, so I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Right.
I'm excited with Mahershala Ali to do it, and hopefully she's probably already been working on the script for a month if we've just heard about it.
Right.
Um, so they're probably already starting writing early stages, probably treatments, that sort of thing.
Because I mean,
Um,
yeah, they said they wanted to get Blade out before Captain Marvel 2, which is like that's in late 2022. So I guess this is only the first of various like news we're gonna be hearing about this project.
right, that's crazy. If that's crazy to get it out before Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel's about to go into production soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be if anyone can do a
Wow.
balancing act, it's them.
Yeah, and I guess you're right. I just hope they finish all their visual effects shots in time.
Oh gosh. Classic. Oh god.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. I'll be ready when it comes out. Hopefully, it's a good story. It's kind of wacky with a guy who kills vampires. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think someone from Watchmen could really handle that well.
What they need now is to get someone from like Lovecraft Country, and then they could like like there you go. There's your writing staff, because then you can hit superheroes can hit your horror, and then that'd be it. That's perfect.
You're covering it from all angles.
Mhm.
Um, let's move on to our final subject. And the Snyder Cut is rated R. Jared Leto, first image as a Joker in the trailer, is coming on Valentine's Day. A
Yeah,
lot to handle.
indeed.
Um, Nick, whatever you order you want, let's just dive into
Yeah.
this.
Let's talk the Leto picture, because that was I think came out. There's two released. There's one where you like it was just a Joker card. There's one that was released. I think yeah, it was today actually, where you kind of see him more. There's it's interesting because he like it's the same spirit as the suicide as Ayer's vision of Joker, but also like he doesn't have damage tattoo on his forehead anymore or anything like that. He's like kind of like is like some sort of amalgamation of like what a Snyder Joker would look like, and what Ayer put out. So really interested, really excited just to have like Batman like actually interact with Joker, and that's the implication I'm getting from it. So, say what you will, but we just haven't seen this Batman and this Joker interact outside of like that car chase in Suicide Squad. So I'm really excited to see them just have exchange of lines with each other. I can only imagine how that's going to go. Trailer on uh, February 14th is a very Snyder move to make, because it's like 214 minutes of the Snyder Cut. So of course he'd release it on 214.
Mhm.
Um, I almost don't like. I was fine with the trailer, and like I guess the second version of the trailer he released way back when. So I'm like, third trailer, I'll probably end up watching it. Almost like I don't need it, because I I was okay with the first few, but interested to see what new stuff comes out. And then what was the last one? Oh, rated R. I mean that follows through with rumors, right? That was like rumor that I was trying to hit in like a few months ago. So
Yeah.
not surprised, not surprised.
All right. I'm gonna go in reverse order. So it's rated R.
Okay.
Um, it's cool, I guess. For me as a fan, I
Mhm.
like rated R stuff. Frankly, I think it's more interesting. It just gives you more creative freedom.
Mhm.
So from that perspective, it's really cool. From a general perspective, there are also kids who are younger who watch these movies,
Mhm.
and it does kind of limit your audience.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
know if it's necessary to the story. I know Zack Snyder probably wants to, and this is supposed to be the definitive Snyder cut, so he can
Mhm.
have it what way he wants. It's just, does this film need to be rated R? I don't know.
Right.
I don't think so.
I feel just to like I guess continue like conversation for that. I just feel like you could kind of get a like because this one isn't being released like even before like COVID shut down everything. Like this was always going to be released on Max. Like it wasn't going to be like a wide release. So I feel like
Right.
they could get away. Like they could get away with it. Audience wise, I mean, I remember there were like kids when I watched Deadpool in theaters. There were kids in the theater,
Right.
and I was
Right.
like, all right, cool. And that was a hard rated R too. I was like, okay, cool. They're like that kid definitely looks 10 years old, but um, I don't know. I mean, it's like you said, it's the definitive Snyder Cut. He's free to do whatever he wants. It's his vision. It's his version now.
Right. And I mean, it's pretty easy to watch a rated, I mean, at least in theaters, it's easy to watch a rated R movie as a kid. You
Yeah.
just buy your tickets online ahead of time and walk straight in. They won't ask any questions.
Right.
Just a tip. But Jared Leto's new look, I really love it. It's kind of more of what I pictured for the Joker when I first heard the announcement of Leto as playing him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's great casting. And Suicide Squad for whatever reason it didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't come across like I didn't feel like he was the Joker. It just felt like he was a guy playing the Joker, which would be an interesting take. Maybe the Joker died, right? You know, there was an older Joker, and this guy is the copycat, like a copycat killer.
Legacy, right? I got
Right. Like maybe that was the broader angle or the reason they were trying to do something different. I don't know. Didn't come across necessarily the right way as the most interesting caricature of the Joker, but it was a cool image. Doesn't mean it's going to be cool in the movie, but it doesn't mean it's also not going to be cool.
Right. It's cool image.
Yeah. And the last thing is the trailer on Valentine's Day, man. I mean, it's a tough year for a lot of people on Valentine's Day with COVID going on. Right. So, hey, Zack Snyder's just trying to give you a little bit of love.
Exactly. He's just trying to make the day a little bit easier.
Exactly. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I always love a good trailer.
100%.
You know, there's something about boosting your excitement level by watching a trailer that is so much fun and so much fun to speculate what the movie's going to be about with your friends. But definitely we will review the trailer. Maybe we'll do a breakdown. Maybe. No promises. But depends on how much new footage there is. Right. But that's kind of my thoughts. Nick, I feel like we've covered everything, right?
That is about it. Yeah, a bit of a slower week, but still some interesting stuff nonetheless.
Oh, one little thing. Just because we were talking about films from DC that went out of their director's hands, right? And they've kind of pushed back with the new Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad. But Birds of Prey is also another film. We're in the editing room. I don't know if they took it away or the director essentially lost every fight they were in.
I feel like it was sort of like she was making it, and then at certain points, the producer poke his head and be like, "Can you like do this, do that?" And she's like, "Yeah, fine." And then it was just like a repeated that. I saw that. It's funny. I would used to use the argument that you can see the director's imprint on each films, but the more of this nonsense that comes out, I'm like, I can't even use that argument and believe myself anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping stuff like what happened with Gunn and what happened with Snyder is kind of paves makes things smooths things out a little. I don't know.
I got to be honest. The directors aren't the ones who are paying $200 million to make this film and are riding on its success or not. So people a lot of times push back on the film not being what they wanted to see or what the director originally intended. Mm-hmm. But they're also not the ones who have $200 million at stake that they have to make back. And a studio that supports, thousands of employees other than who's making the movies, who ride on in that success and get fired if it fails. So it's a little bit more complicated, I think, than fans often make it out to be.
That then brings us into auteur theory and not a whole discussion on that, but that's a whole other video.
That's a whole nother that's a whole
series of videos, let alone
no kidding. You could write a whole book series on that. But anyways, that wraps up this episode of Comic Book Movie News. Let us know of what you thought of all this news. Are you excited for the Zack Snyder trailer? Is that your Valentine's date? I don't know, but you know what? Could be worse.
Could be worse.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.